Greetings, beings. Reverend Jacob Martinez here, Crystal Haiku Guy and father of Trimes from www.artoflove.me. I'm back with your October readings. Thank God we survived Mercury retrograde. Wasn't that a hell of an eclipse too? Oh my goodness. Look, this is an M for Mature Audiences only channel. If you are not somebody that's comfortable with raw messages or being raw in your own life, probably not your guy too. Just put it out there. I will most definitely misgender probably 50% or more of you. My apologies. It's difficult to do for a large audience, and energies can flip-flop. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you how to interpret your own gender, so please feel free to assign whichever gender makes most sense, knowing that stories can flip-flop, and so can energies. Check your sun, your moon, your rising, and any other planetary influences of importance to you. You don't have to watch the beginnings of any of my videos. They tend to go a little bit long. I do 4 videos breaking them down by tribal elements. There are going to be 3 chapters for each element. If you just go under the video, into the description box, click show more, and you'll see your chapters delineated for you. Just click ahead if you like. Alright, now that I said that, for those of you that do like hearing this stuff, I have to tell you, I might have to expand my space soon. I'm looking at maybe doing a move here when I can. I'm just like got some things on the radar, a lot of changes going on, and when I was just cleaning the space here, I hadn't even touched my cards yet, okay, and I just started getting like so many messages, tons and tons and tons and tons of messages, and I don't want to say it stressed me out, but what has been kind of triggering me is that I feel like if I don't know what to do with all of this, that it's kind of like I'm not doing my job, right? So this is my service to others. I take it pretty seriously, and I clean myself a certain way to be able to do this work. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to be your witness and for connecting with me in a way that allows me to be so flooded with these messages before I even touch my decks. And I'm just going to let you know that I'm in the process of figuring out how I can maybe adjust my format and do it in a way where maybe I can figure out how to articulate those messages in a way that makes more sense for this audience, since I'm getting so many of them, and I want to be a good steward of the gifts that I've been given. So thank you for allowing me to be your witness. And on that thread too, I just have to thank you for being a kind mirror to me. When I started this channel just like a handful of months ago, it was like May when I first started, you know, this was just my service to others. I didn't even start offering personal readings until like last month, because I've been really busy with my other job, my work that I do. I do shamanic style healing energy work here and some other things. I produce content of different kinds, and I have another business as well. But when you make an appointment with me, let's say, for a reading, and you go to my website, artoflove.me, my payment processor is a company called Stripe, and so you actually, you know, put your credit card, and then it, you know, saves the spot in my calendar. I get those messages like 2-3 different ways because of how they text me, and where I've set up my donations with a special PayPal link that's linked here on my YouTube and also on my website, I haven't been getting the notifications. I guess that's maybe like a Mercury retrograde thing. I don't know, but I was just in my PayPal account because I was paying for a reading from a reader here on YouTube who I really care about a lot, and I love her messages, and she uses PayPal. And so when I was going to pay for my reading with her, I looked in my PayPal account, and there was all this money that I didn't know had come in, and it was money from you all. And so, wow, what a surprise for me. And it just was an awesome kind of thing, and I didn't realize like how abundant I'd become behind the scenes just by the TLC and just, you know, the reciprocal actions that others have taken to show me that they value what I've been contributing. So thank you for being that mirror to me, and I appreciate you. And I will just let you know that you might not know this about me. I do things a very specific way. I've groomed myself a very specific way, and the way that I seed my life and the things, everything that comes to me, tends to have a ripple effect follow it of supernatural luck. And I'm just going to tell you that for those of you who have chosen to seed my work here, my ministry, my life, my needs, I've planted those seeds for you. And so may my cosmic blessings ripple into your life in ways that astound you. Thank you for being a witness for me. I break these readings down using 5 different decks of cards. For your challenge style energy, I'm going to be using Carolyn Mace's archetype deck. It's going to give us a light and shadow attribute. For your physical and material sector, we are going to be looking with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. For the mental realm, I look with the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. For the personal, sometimes romantic sector, we use Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels Oracle deck, and I like to seal everything up with some practical advice from Archangel Michael and a prayer. So that's what you'll be getting from me. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you on the inside of your videos. Water tribes, hey. First, I just apologize. I meant to get to these yesterday, and I've been going through a lot too. I think this shadow period's been really hectic, and I didn't realize how Mercury prone I am, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that some of the people that I'm really close to have really strong Mercury tendencies and are affected a lot by the retrograde, and so I might just be sensitive enough to admit that it's a shared experience, and, you know, that we co-create that together and trigger and recreate and all that stuff together. So it's been a weird time, but anyway, getting to you all and also Earth Tribes today. And when I was just cleaning the space in here, I was getting a lot of messages. I've just been getting tons of messages just the past several days too, even before I touched the decks, as I mentioned in the intro, I believe. And I think some of it might just be that there have been a lot of miscommunications for many of us, especially over the past, I'm being told 45 to 60 days, so even before this most recent Mercury retrograde is kind of what I'm hearing, and that it's just been really confusing for people, and that there, even though the retrograde happened, and that's when people say, you know, it brings back the exes and the chance, the do-overs, for some reason I'm hearing that it was even delayed past that for some people, and that those effects are actually coming here into now. I'm recording this on the 28th of September, but also into October. And so some messages were coming. I'm just gonna try to sum it up real quick, because I can't do all of them like this, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna maybe change things. I need to move and maybe get a co-collab partner to split some things up a little bit, because I feel there's something else I should be doing as many of these as I'm getting on a regular basis, even without, you know, touching these cards. And it's becoming too much for me to, I think, do the series just the way I'm doing it, because there's just too many messages and I want to be able to deliver them all. So basically I'm hearing that a lot of y'all are, they gave me the words straddling tricky shit. That's what I heard, straddling tricky shit. And I know a lot of it has to do with relationships. There's been a lot of job stuff too, some weird stuff with some people's work, but um, Scorpio kept coming up a lot for this too, just like a lot with scorpionic influence, and this, like, I keep seeing somebody like sneaking over something, and it's like not like they're trying to be sneaky, but it's like if they don't like do it this way, like I see them like looking like they're sneaking, it's literally like they're gonna detonate a fucking bomb. So it's like I'm seeing an image. It's like Catherine Zeta-Jones in that movie with what's his head, Sean Connery, where they're like trying to pull off a heist, and she's like all like in this little slinky thing doing this like catwalk trying to get over all the lasers without like tricking an alarm. And I was seeing somebody doing that, and they just said she's straddling tricky shit, but that it wasn't just like one person. They were speaking to that character. But anyway, look, I heard that y'all need to shield yourself really, really strongly right now, because there's something that's paying off for some people, and they said you really worked for it, and that it's actually going to be such a stark contrast to what you're used to that you're really going to be like kind of questioning like if it's legit, because it's like you've just been through so much bullshit that it's like you're kind of like, I don't trust it, right? And they keep just showing me that like somebody's just like like walking away from something, but it's like really it's theirs, and I think some of it might have to do with love, some of it's somebody's career stuff. I'm trying to lump these all together so that they can pertain to whoever they are without getting too specific, because there were just too many specific images that I was seeing. But basically one of them, it just boiled down to some new love, and they were just saying that some people have sown a lot of themselves into the idea of a certain outcome, whether it was like a relationship they were working on with somebody else, something external, or like trying to get jobs. I was seeing like different people like putting themselves out for different careers, and also people just like wanting to start a business, but it like just having like been taking so long, and they just show me like this person like getting so frustrated because it's like they've been working really hard, and it's like it's really taking off, but it's like not paying off yet really. And so just seeing a lot of people like frustrated with something that they've been like putting all of everything into, and that it's like something changed, and you're gonna know what it is for you because it's different for everybody, but that it's like now all these different doors have opened, and some of them you're just not even freaking trusting because they're like too good to be true is what some people are saying or thinking. And then the other thing is that like at the same time or like around it, and this is like what's like going to be fucking with a lot of people over the next couple weeks is what I heard, is that do-over or like that thing that you were actually specifically working towards, that you've just like tried, it's like finally available. And it's like now it's like coming into view, and it's like you're looking at it and you're like, what kind of fucking crack was I smoking, and it's like you're getting in your own head over that. And I think some people are actually do want that do-over again, and I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't. You're gonna know if you want that chance again at whatever it was, but I'm feeling like a lot of y'all are getting like it's coming back into your orbit, and you're just like I must have like really not thought very highly of myself to have been waiting for that. And so I'm just seeing some people just being like, wow, just having like this holy shit, like I've really grown up sort of thing, and it's like an actualization time. And I'm being told just like whatever it is, honor and trust your feelings, be gentle with whatever it is that's coming back, because in some cases it's coming back fragile and for a reason. It's like something that got threatened. And for the ones that are in love too though, because I heard like some shit happened quick where it's like I just see somebody and it's like cut bait, and they just like cut it, and it's like the weight dropped, it like sunk, and then it's like that person just pew, shot up all of a sudden, and it was like something was there that grabbed them and pulled them out, and it's like now they're on to something new. And I'm hearing trust your gut, if that's like your situation and if it feels right, and they're saying if it feels right. And if it does, go on and have a great time, because you've been waiting for that. And that's something that you worked for, and it was supposed to be that awesome, because that's your mirror, okay? And then the other thing about it, though, that they're saying, strong cautionary note, shield yourself. And I just kept seeing them. It was like, I literally saw like somebody that was like treading water, like in the ocean, like treading fucking water, and just like trying to breathe, and it's like storming, and all this shit's like happening. It's all fucked up. And then it's like I can see like in the water, and there's like all these people and things like hanging on to this person, and it's like they just can't, you know, they can't keep like holding it all up and breathing and surviving, and it's like everything was trying to pull them down. And then it's like I just saw like the words cut bait, and then it was just like boom, everything dropped, and then the person just like shoots up, like popped up like a cork out of the water, and there was like a hand pulls them out, and then they just like ran. And then I see like two people, and they just kind of went like this, and it said shield yourself. And so I'm just being told that if that's your situation, if that sounds like you, be prepared for the haters. There's going to be a backlash, because a lot of people aren't going to like that, because some people wanted to pull you down, and they wanted you to do it their way. And, you know, that's how you can kind of tell, like, the difference between, like, what kind of love it is that you're dealing with, because there's certain kinds that will allow you to feel free and not restrict you. And then there are other ones that feel very heavy, and you feel very committed, and you're willing to, you know, tread water and hold on to all that bullshit. And that's not saying it's not real. It's just saying that that's the kind that makes it hard to fucking breathe. And sometimes that's how you can tell the difference between where the karmic attachments still are and where the rewards have led you, so that you can actually be in alignment with what's going to liberate you now. Because there's a time to change things, and sometimes you have to cut bait. So, yeah, hopefully that resonates for who it needs to go to. And I'm going to start shuffling these decks, and I lay them all down, backs up. Don't flip them until I'm ready to read them, and I won't pick up unless I have something else to say. So, thank you for being here, and they say we're going to go Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So, just going to get on this, and, yeah, might be boring. always interesting when cards flip themselves completely all the way around, and to see what's on the other side. Huh. So, this is the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. I'm shuffling it for the physical material realm, and that's what was facing me on one side, and these two face completely roundabouts the other way. That's the Two of Swords reversed, the Four of Wands upright, and the Empress. And I heard somebody made a very difficult decision in love. Oh yeah, must have been, because look at that. I just realized, holy shit. Oh, that was what was underneath the Four of Wands. We had a coming out of something codependent, some kind of bullshit, devil reversed. Looks like it might have been a karmic relationship, Six of Cups. Long period. I'm hearing for some of y'all figuring out what the fuck to do. This was trusting the inner light, and somebody picked a wife. Congrats. And they said, shield yourself. Haters are gonna freaking lose their shit. That was what was on the other side. The Fool. Casey getting a new beginning. Oh, here we go. God, it's so crazy. The deck was splitting right there. They said expect that. Tower. Okay, my nose is itching like crazy, and I went to scratch it, and I just like saw somebody's energetic nose growing like Pinocchio, like this, and then they sneezed, and it turned into like the Ace of Swords. It was like the Sword of Truth, and there was a ring on the end of it, just like the Rider-Waite deck, and they said that like some bullshit was going to come out. You've had somebody talking a lot of shit, and it was a cover-up. That's what I heard. Cover-up. Well, that's really weird. The camera had actually stopped, and maybe I'd gone off on a little bit of a tangent while I was lighting sage. But anyway, when I realized it, I just pulled myself a little closer so I can be more comfortable. And I guess we'll get started with the cards now. We're gonna go Scorpio, Cancer, and then we'll wrap them all up on Pisces. So, what's going on, Scorpio? Happy October to you. I heard some of y'all are like between some dicey situations right now, and that y'all are doing the best that you can. And, try not to beat yourself up too much over the stuff that's been shaken up recently. A lot of us have been going through that, and it's, it's been a tough time. So make sure you're giving yourself what you need to take care of yourself through all of this, because, the better you take care of yourself, the more present you can be there to sort of mitigate the situation. And I'm just being told a lot of y'all just need to make sure that, you're just taking care of some of your basic needs. And, I have like a lot of Scorpio people in my life, and people with strong Scorpio pull. And I know that when you feel things, it's just so deep that sometimes it completely can displace you from like your own like self and like what you need here in this body to sustain you, while you're feeling that. Because I'm not saying you shouldn't be feeling it, you got your feels for a reason. You also have a body. And so make sure you're getting what you need, Scorpio. Because if you can feel like, at least stable in your form, it's going to give you a better time to process stuff, because your vessel will be sturdier to support that, especially if you're going through something major and emotional. And I know a lot of you are. So I'm going to go ahead and flip your cards. This looks awesome. Okay, that looks really good to me. And who else got that? You and God is in charge. Gemini. You might be dealing with the Gemini, or maybe you've got some Gemini in your chart, because y'all both got the same Archangel card, and just a couple weeks ago, Gemini also was given this teacher card. So, maybe that'll connect a dot for some of y'all. Whether or not, though, this right here just feels really positive to me, Scorpio. It's just saying that there have been some major, major lessons that have basically just kind of like turned your world into a completely different direction. And if you haven't noticed that, they're just saying that, that shit that ripped your world apart is like just opening up so many other opportunities. And if you don't see it yet, and I think some of you do, there is a rainbow on the horizon. And so you've learned a lot, and they're saying now is like a really good time to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because it's like that stuff that you learned, literally, if you have the energy, okay, in yourself, if you contain yourself to where you can be effective for you in all of that shit that like literally blew it all up before, you are literally going to be like sitting very, very pretty is what I'm hearing. And some of y'all have already started to realize that. And I think a lot of it might have to do with upskilling. They're saying like just some of y'all have been putting yourself through some major freaking like stress just to be able to do that upskilling. And that's like part of why some of y'all are exhausted is what I'm hearing. And they're saying some of y'all have like serious adrenal fatigue right now. I'm picking up on major adrenal fatigue, and they're saying that now is a really good time to go and check into that. And I'm just going to jump on this chemistry card here real quick. I'm being told that for some of y'all that's what that is about. It's really not even romantic at all. This is about your biochemistry and about your stress hormones. So go see somebody, a professional. That might be who the teacher is showing up here. So I've been getting a lot of really specific messages. I got to be careful about that because it can really just be for, a small segment of people. So if you're new to my channel, it happens. So I also read these cards one by one to give you an idea of how the energy might be playing out. So your overall archetype for the first part of the month, at least, Scorpio, is the teacher. This is Carolyn Mace's archetype deck. I really love these cards because they give us a light and a shadow attribute. And light attribute right off the card states ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Shadow attributes manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits, and destructive skills. So all this is saying is that this is the energy at play in the world around you. It's kind of like your weather forecast for the next couple of weeks. And so you might be tempted to act like that, on that current of energy, or experience that around you. And let's see what the book says. That's what it looks like. Alright, Scorpio, teacher. Given us another buzzword to keep in mind, instructor, and there's also another archetype in this book that they recommend called mentor, which is also similar and probably very very much like this teacher energy is going to read here for your first part of the month. And we got 3 bullet points and a tip. First bullet point: communicates knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom. Second one says, may manifest through parental guidance in business or the arts, or by inspired instruction in ethics or kindness. The third one says, shadow teacher manifests as a desire to manipulate or abuse students, to be more concerned with recognition than with imparting knowledge, or to teach negative traits and destructive skills. And then the tip that they want you to keep in mind is to ask yourself if others look to you as a teacher in any situation to impart the richness of your experience or to show them the ropes. And I'm hearing that is absolutely the case, and y'all know it. A lot of you guys are doing like serious healing work. I see you like sending energy across the planet to others, and that it's just like really working. And they're saying something about like a light worker connection and how you've really been tapping into your soul family in this too, and that the biggest risk right now is, like, I'm hearing for some of you all, it's adrenal fatigue. And so I'm sorry, I gotta say it again, take care of that. And they're saying, is that liver? Oh no, I'm picking up on some liver kidney stuff for somebody, but oh, it's the alcohol. Look, I'm not the person to tell you like what to do with your life, really, and I'm sorry if some of the things that I say might be very directed. A lot of times I'm saying what I hear a guide say, and I'm using the strong language. Other times I might be very passionate about how I'm seeing an opportunity to divert a situation that looks like disadvantageous, right, to the person, and so I will call it out just like as I'm seeing it, like, hey, there's a pothole, and that's really what I intend. And so let me just preface that what I'm about to say is in no way, please, a judgment on anybody, because that's not my place to do it. And look, if I wanted to get judgy about this, I would be like the easiest fucking piñata on the planet. And so let's not do that. That's not what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to let you know in case you're new to my channel, because I do talk direct. So I'm just seeing somebody like pissing their life away is what they're telling me. And it was not looking good here. And it was like an abrupt stop. Like I just like saw that person just like stop and just be like, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just see this guy like flipping a table over. It looks like a man to me, he, she, they, could be anybody. And they're just like flipping over the table and the chairs, and there's like drinks like go everywhere, like shot glasses and stuff. And he's like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. And he just leaves. And they're saying he's not drinking anymore, and that, he really like got his shit together. And I was seeing him like doing this and like kicking over a table. It was like this guy, right? Whoever that is. And, maybe a fire guy. And then they just said, though, that it's really important that he does a cleanse right now, because that person's kidneys and like liver are like really like red. Like I was just seeing, like they were just showing me, it just red, it like just went completely red. And so some of that they're saying is a bit of residual anger too, that is from, just like life, right? And that now that you've like gotten rid of that other situation, that's why you're itching too. It's like, if you do, it's Chinese medicine stuff. I'm not going to like get into everything about it, but you can sometimes have like liver show up on your skin like that, and you'll have like liver, like when your liver's been inflamed, and that can be for a lot of different reasons. It doesn't just have to be, anger and alcohol, but they were just saying that, there might be some things that you're seeing show up right now because your body needs a detox, is basically what it is. You went through that shit so quick, and you know what? You're a fucking rock star. Way to go, you. You know what? People that haven't had addiction don't know what it's like a lot of times, but whoever you are, high five, man. High five, girl. High five, other, whoever you are, because that's major, you know what? And they're saying that you might be like really in your head right now about what could be wrong. And it's because like, now you're noticing all this body stuff, and like now you're like feeling your feelings more. And so, just look at doing a really good cleanse. I'm just being told milk thistle silymarin would be really good for you. Drink a lot of good clean water, okay? And you're going to be fine. But I see you standing up and talking about this stuff, and they just said that, it's been a long way, and you deserve every good thing coming to you, okay? I'm going to break these cards down a little bit more. So, right next to the teacher, we were seeing this character. Physical material realm. King of Wands showing up, right? Good stuff. I love this king. And that's because that's, some of y'all, actually. Whether or not you've got strong fire tribal element in your chart, but this could very well easily, if it's not you, be somebody that's, been in your life a while, perhaps. That might be, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising kind of person. But, this person's playing a key role next couple of weeks. King of Wands, because they're showing up right here in your world. And I'm just being told for a lot of y'all, that's just you. And that it's like, what they're showing me, like, I'm just seeing the person that, like, had their world ripped apart, you know, and, like, all their shit just, like, blow up in their face, like, just, like, get their act together and, like, do it in, like, a really dignified way that I'm hearing surprises themselves, and in a lot of cases is going to restore their own faith in something that maybe they never believed in, outwardly, at least. Everybody hears about God and all this stuff, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's no such thing as God, or want to quibble over what God is or isn't, and I'm hearing for some of y'all, that was you, and that, like, the shit that you, like, survived, that you somehow pulled together, that is making you see life differently, and, just kind of restoring your own faith, first in yourself, but that it's also bringing you all closer to redefining that thing, that some of us call God. So I'm getting, like, really major spiritual vibes here for a lot of you all, and, I think that's a wonderful thing, but, I'm a guy that practices his own mediumship, and so I just revere that, and I think that a lot of times we don't realize that, the bullshit that life has been putting us through is just training, because we were, like, learning what we were made of, right? And learning to respect ourselves and to claim dignity and to be, the light that we are. And, it's easy to forget all that when you're just struggling with, like, trying to put the pieces together after something, like, blew your shit up, right? And so it's like you literally have to, like, figure out how to hack your way out of it. And along that process, what ends up happening is, you just might accidentally start respecting yourself after only having been trained to disrespect yourself and to allow life circumstances to show you how disrespected you were, until you realized, wait a second, maybe I need to change some stuff here because this freaking sucks. And, before you know it, it's like you called yourself into an alignment, like an alchemical alignment, that maybe ended up looking like something that you might want to stick around and, like, keep in your life, or redefine what it is that should look like for you. And so I'm hearing that that's why the Foundation and Achievements card is showing up on some of y'all's minds. That's the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. If you were looking in, like, this deck, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, that would be your Four of Wands. And so there's a lot of fire in this spread here. So I feel like, some of y'all very well could be fire sign people yourself too. You might have some fire element in your own chart. And for others, it's just really about, having other people in your life that are playing a strong role, that have, some sort of fire in their chart. Or it's just that this is a very fertile, passionate, redefining time where, you feel like you're kind of amped up, you're getting your mojo back. And I think that's awesome, coming out of freaking all these crazy retrogrades that we've been having this year, and, like, the eclipses, and it's like, even if you weren't following all that, you don't need to be. The funniest thing about all this stuff is, especially for people that just don't want to hear about astrology, and they're like, oh, it's so woo-woo, or, like, whatever. Well, you know what? It's great when they get their charts done all these years later, and somebody actually goes back and is like, oh, did you know that this was going on at this time, and this was going on at this time, and they realize that all, like, the decisions that fucking went shit on them, and, like, all these other crazy things that happened when certain things were going on in the cosmic weather. And so it's like, that's part of why some of this has been hell for some people. And I think that, we're coming into a bit of a lighter time, and not yet, but just having had some of those things go direct again after they've been so severe and backwards has given us, a lot of us, time to see a completely different story manifest before our eyes. And I'm hearing for a lot of y'all, that's like made you extremely wise about some stuff in yourself that nobody ever helped you understand how to fucking put together in a way that allowed you to feel grounded, and that it was brutal. But that what you just learned here, it's awesome, because it's just setting you up. And like, I mean, your birthdays are coming up soon too. You know, sun's coming back for you. It's just going to be a good time. And so I'm just seeing that, like, if things are still a little wonky or crazy, keep some faith here, because like this king that I believe a lot of you are right here, he, she, they, whatever gender you are, it doesn't matter. It's just saying that this is the signal of mastery in that sign. Right? And this element here in this deck, wands, you don't get any more mastered in a wand than this king, right? And so this is what's happening when he's like getting his ass whooped by life, or he like is like kind of just like coming unglued for whatever reason. Shit's not going his way. And y'all showed up like this. Even after something went pew, you know, and tore it apart for a lot of y'all, right? So I'm hearing that's like why a lot of people need to know that they've called something to celebrate into their world, even if it looked like something else than what they thought they were setting themselves up for. It's like, it's pretty awesome. And so they're just saying, like, make sure you're giving yourself time to like process what happened, because I'm hearing for some of y'all it was like fast, really, really, really fast, and I was seeing like lightning like ripping through the sky here. And so for some people, you know, it's definitely a romantic thing, chemistry. And I'm hearing for some of y'all it's like, you know, it's got you feeling things that you didn't even believe in before. And you know, that says it right there. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. And like, if it is romance, I mean, that's looking really good. You know, it's like something that they're sharing together that's like really magic. And so if that's you, I'm hearing some of y'all might be shacking up or thinking about it, moving in, making someone the king or queen of your world. I'm here for some of y'all too. It's really like in a business sense, you know. It might not be like, you know, it doesn't have to be romance. This chemistry can just be like the stars aligning properly in your business venture, and like two worlds coming together, you know, is what I'm hearing. And it just like opening up a new direction, a new path, and that it's a shared venture. And that, you know, if that's the case, and some of y'all have been like thinking about this, especially over the past several weeks, and just kind of waiting for the right time to consummate that business relationship, or even just a special relationship with maybe another person that does stir up all those feelings. This is looking like it's protected to me. God's in charge, Scorpio. Hey, I'm going to read to you what the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book says on that 4 Foundation and Achievements card, aka 4 of Wands. So there's just a little bit different spin in this book than your more traditional decks. You know, this one, for me, this is a happy home. I mean, this is a marriage card for me. You know, call me old school, but it's looking pretty nice, right? You know, happy home. 4, Foundation and Achievements. This card confirms that what you've been building is now firmly established with a strong and solid foundation. You deserve this, and it's time for you to harvest the rewards for your efforts. What you sowed, you now can reap. Be open to receive as you've worked hard and have given so much. Allow the universe to give a little back to you, for there has to be an even exchange of giving and receiving in order to prime the pump of gratitude and reinforce the law of attraction. Using the more traditional meaning in tarot, this card represents a period for celebration, peace, and prosperity. It might also imply marriage or the buying of land or a new home. As you enjoy this time of relaxation that you so deserve, know that nothing remains stagnant and the winds of change are always at your door. And I'm going to read to you what this chemistry card says here too, Scorpio. This is the Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels Oracle card deck. The book says, there's a strong magnetic attraction here. You've received this card because you feel a strong dynamic pull toward another person. In other words, you share chemistry with him, her, or them. This creates an intense, pleasurable sensation that draws you two to each other. If this person is someone other than your partner in a committed relationship, then the chemistry is probably a source of both stress and escape. You'll need to weigh your options and the consequences carefully before, instead of leaving your current partner or embarking upon an affair. If, however, you are single and feel this pull towards another unattached person, then this card brings you a go-ahead green light of good news. Most likely, the chemistry is mutual and merits exploration. In some cases, this card may mean that a lack of chemistry is a cause for relationship issues and personal discontent. If there was chemistry initially, it may be restored by devoting effort into the relationship. Passion, sparks, and romance can be revived through playfulness, thoughtfulness, time together, and caring gestures. Call upon the romance angels to guide you as you make important decisions about channeling this chemistry. So, it's looking good. I mean, if this is a relationship getting ready to happen, I mean, it's looking very passionate. It's looking very, very passionate. And I think you're going to know if it's something that you want to do. And they're just saying, trust your gut, Scorpio. You know what feels good. And, I'm also seeing somebody else turning their head away from a relationship too. And, some of them, for some of y'all, it's because, you know that this is actually what you want. And this is like, you've got like an image now, I'm hearing, because life has been like a brutal teacher. Some shit did rip your world apart. And it's like, now you know what that really should look like for you. And it's not what you had. And so for some of y'all, I'm hearing that this is actually you turning your back on like what the old idea of it was. It's like you've turned your back on it, and you've decided to actually leave it. And I hear that for some of y'all, that's what the brutal teacher was. It's like coming out of a divorce or, a relationship, whatever it was for you. And, I'm not somebody that just epitomizes one style of a union. I think that can be really hurtful and harmful and like marginalizing to other people. So, whatever it was that was your relationship that had you feeling like, your world got ripped apart, I mean, maybe it had something to do with chemistry. I'm hearing somebody had a sex addiction and like, stepped outside of the marital bounds and, just like split on somebody, and that, that's the difficult lesson that's been coming up here. But you know what, darling, if that's you, I'm not going to patronize you or like try to minimize your situation. I'm just going to tell you not what to believe, but just that this showed up. God's in charge, okay? And I'm praying for you, okay? And there are beings of light that are with us that help us get through this shit. And I know that some of y'all know that now, even if you didn't before, because that's the only thing that kept you glued together when your shit was being blown apart. But I just feel like whatever it is for you, depending on whatever Scorpio you are, this is probably like one of the best readings that I've seen and felt energetically for Scorpio in a long time. And I've only been doing this channel here since May. I started with May, and this is probably my favorite Scorpio reading. It just feels like a lot's been learned, and you guys, your energy's just showing like it's just showing you like going in, I think, a positive direction. It looks like it's like coming together. It looks like it's been funneled. Before it was kind of going in multiple directions, and I just feel really happy about seeing this. So, let me be the one to just remind you how awesome you are, and that whatever hell you went through, it looks like, even if the situations sucked and you had to make difficult decisions, because I heard a lot of y'all are still doing that Catherine Zeta-Jones, like, risky, like, trying to, like, get through something very difficult right now. Everything here looks good, because this, you don't get to be the freaking teacher unless you actually learn the lesson, okay? You don't get to sit upright in the throne unless you earned your position there. You don't get victory cards that promise a happier future, even coming into your mind after all that bullshit, unless you called it in. And so sometimes that's what chemistry is right there. But bam, Scorpio magic. How you like me now? I think some of y'all are phoenixes. Just remember, whatever you want to call it, I'm not trying to make it stupid by giving you words that you don't want to use if you don't like it. I'm a person that's comfortable with the word God. I love God. Whatever that is to you, I'm just going to say God here. God is in charge. So I'm feeling good about it. I'm going to seal you up on that tip and on that prayer from Archangel Michael there, Scorpio. I hope you have a wonderful October. Dear God, please help me let go of the situation, giving it in faith, in trust to your divine wisdom, in infinite love, in order to resolve and heal everything and everyone involved. Amen. All right, Scorpio, that's what I got for you. If I can do anything for you on a personal level, hit me up, artoflove.me. I'm doing personal readings, and I'm also offering prayer assistance for anybody that would like a prayer. So feel free to just drop that on my welcome mat. And if I don't hear from you, see you again in a couple of weeks. Gonna light some sage here, clear it all up, and we're gonna jump on over to Cancer. What's going on, Cancer? How you doing? Happy October to you. Gonna flip your cards. All right. I'm hearing, Cancer, that difficult truths gonna be a focal point next couple weeks here. Actually, for some of y'all too, I'm hearing that that is what's been going on, and that this part of your month is really about you reviewing what you learned, because now you have a difficult decision to make that's calling you into a place where you decide how you want to handle some pretty tricky business with regard to interpersonal relationship dynamics. Victim showing up as the overall archetypal energy for the month. primarily the first 2 weeks, let's just say here, Cancer. This is Carolyn Mace's archetype deck. Light attribute state prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Shadow attributes. Playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. So they say that's what you're dealing with, and your physical material realm using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. We've got a Two of Pentacles in reverse, and I'm hearing for some of y'all that's actually the decision that you're making here. And for some of you, it's picking between love or money. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, you're having to realize, you know, what the value is in different relationships. And that this kind of rocky boat feeling here is actually you, you know. Even if you don't have, see, this is a Pentacle card. And since it's showing up in the physical material realm there, Cancer, a lot of times it can signify somebody, a person, or people that we're dealing with that have strong earth element in their constitution. So that would generally be like, you know, somebody that might have like a sun, moon, or rising, or be tempted to act like a Taurian, Virgoan, Capricornian sort of person. So these could be people, and if it is, you know, maybe they're not real happy. And it can also be just like, you know, trying to keep up with life's demands, because, you know, it's like this person, when they're upright, you know, they got this little jig going on, but it's like it's protected, you know, it's in the slang. They might get a little rocky boat feeling here, but I mean, his hat's on his head still. He, she, they. Could be anybody. Doesn't have to be a guy. This way. They just dropped it. Losing juggling act. And I'm hearing that some of this is just, you know, because you got some people, perhaps, that feel like they have something to do with that investment and all that hard work that you've been doing here, that now you almost want to give up on. I'm hearing some of y'all actually did give up because of something that you learned. So in some cases, this truth isn't something new that you're going to learn that's going to rock your world, because I know this is a major arcana card here. This is John Holland's Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. That's your Judgment card. If you're referencing the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, right? So, Judgment card, which I love. It's like rebirth time, and a lot of times, difficult truth, right? And so I'm being told some of y'all are actually going to come in contact with that this month. But for many, it's just being very consumed about that difficult thing that made you just literally say, fuck this, I'm not doing it anymore. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, that's pretty much what it was. It was like, you know, and I'm going to jump into your Romance Sector card. Personal/Romance Sector card using the Doreen Virtues Romance Angels Oracle deck. Not always romantic. Love yourself first. I'm hearing is the truth. Some of y'all are trying to implement this month because of whatever that was that you learned that made you kind of like give up on something. And so I'm just hearing right now too, though, Cancer, that some of y'all made that decision under duress, and it's because you were feeling like victimized somehow, or like put upon, or taken advantage of, or just literally like you didn't have the resources. Because like this person, sometimes that's the challenge. Like, I mean, you know, when they're upright, even if they're busy and just like trying to keep up with this and like kind of like treading water with this thing, it's like this way, it's like they feel like they can't. Like they can't keep up the balance, right? And so they feel like really seasick. And I'm hearing that some people have actually made a quick decision that now they're regretting, and it involved a move. Actually, I'm just seeing like a move that's like being turned upside down right now, and it's like the people are finding themselves having a hard time because now they don't have a bridge between where they were and where they set themselves up to go. And so it's like really having to face like, holy shit, did I put myself in this situation? What do I need to do to kind of like, stabilize it? And in some cases, it's about an emphasis that was placed on a relationship. And I'm hearing that, some people are just realizing, I'm only in this relationship because I felt like I needed help with what those coins are, material support, and it doesn't make me feel good. And now I don't know if I want to take that leap that I said I was going to take. Fuck. And that some people are having like a come to Jesus right now about, how do I take care of myself in this? And am I willing to compromise and go forward? And that it's like it put the move on hold. And so I'm hearing that for some of y'all, even if you don't have earth elements, or you're not dealing with like, a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn person, that, the move is on hold. It's like, what was moving forward is like now not. And let me see what the book says on this Carolyn Mace archetype card of victim. Alright, Cancer, victim. We've got 3 bullet points and a tip. First bullet point. When properly recognized, the victim alerts you when you're in danger of letting yourself be victimized, either through passivity or rash, inappropriate actions. Second bullet point says, also helps you see your own tendency to victimize others for personal gain. And the third one says, shadow victim shows you that you might like to play that role because of the positive feedback you get in the form of sympathy or pity. And then the tip they want you to keep in mind here, Cancer, is that everyone has this archetype. The goal is always to learn how to recognize these inappropriate attitudes in ourselves or others and to act accordingly. So don't feel bad. I mean, some of these cards, like, people get pissed off. And they're like, oh, why are you calling me out? I'm not calling you out. And I don't think the deck is here to do that either. It's just to point us in a direction of like how to avoid some of these things that we don't even like. It's like if we get so offended that somebody even used that word in our reading, whether or not they were pointing a finger at us, maybe that's something to look at, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of here. But I'm hearing some of y'all, it's the truth of a decision that was made here. I think it might have a lot to do with the relationship here, because we have an upside down 2. We've got a 20 here, which reduces down to a 2. And they're saying take time making this decision. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, too, it's just like, you had a choice. Maybe you didn't even realize you had a choice. And like now it's like changing how you value those relationships and which ones are really helping you feel like this is happening first, and that you're not compromising this for anything, because nothing's worth it. And if that's the truth you're coming into, and that's why you're just like, fuck it, I'm dropping it, I'm in my truth, I'm not taking a move until I know that it's in alignment with me, God bless you, darling, because that is actually what somebody who is aware of themselves does to make sure that they are actually the triumphant one that has actually just learned from all that stuff that the victim lessons taught them before. And it's not easy. And I'd be full of shit if I told you it was going to be. Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book on your 20 Truth card, Major Arcana, aka the Judgment card. Here's what it says, Cancer. The qualities of this card illustrate spiritual awakening, clarity, the revelation of truth, and cosmic consciousness. At times, it takes a wake-up call to get your attention and show you how far you need to go. This card comes forth to do just that. Evaluation of the past, along with the lessons that you've learned or still need to understand, must now be a top priority. Doing so will enable you to forgive, accept, and heal so that you can move forward in a balanced spiritual mindset. The Truth card reminds you that a significant change must be made in certain area of your life. But don't make any hasty decisions. Take your time, for any choices or alterations must be weighed and evaluated with the most careful and wisest of judgments. Whatever steps you take now will have far-reaching consequences, more than you'll ever know. Using the powers of the universe and blending them with a little help from the physical world will assist you in bringing about clarity, a swift and a shift of awareness. What was once not obvious will now be realized and understood. Be honest with yourself and trust what you know to be true. Traditional tarot archetype, Judgment. So, that's your key, Cancer. Even if this isn't like romantic, because like, I mean, I'm going to read this book to you and, you know, it's probably going to say something about, you know, some gooey love too. Because there's some gooey love there. You know, get it if it's coming to you. Enjoy it. But what it's saying here, let's not get distracted by that imagery. Love yourself first. You're not going to get anything that feels like that until you're doing that. You know? If it's feeling like rocky boat and feeling like that, the relationship's going to feel like a prison. And maybe that's the truth that you're learning about. It's like maybe you've been in that. You know? And maybe you had somebody in your life that was making you feel that way, or I say making you feel that way with finger quotes because, you know, we choose to be in situations on a certain level, right? And so, not judging, just, you know, it takes two to tango, but you know, there could be a person that's got earth element in this, you know, and maybe it's just kind of not really feeling worth it, you know, and you're feeling victimized. And the thing is, until you actually leave things that allow you to be made to feel that way, and you realizing that you allowed it on some level, you're not necessarily loving yourself in a way that's training the people around you about how you actually want them to be coming at you, right? And so, I don't say it with blame or judgment, but, you know, it's like that saying about you get more flies with honey or something, you know? It's not to be baity and to get that from other people. It's just like, you know, you have to treat yourself that way so that, you know, you're sticky to those types of experiences. And so, you know, I think a lot of you are just taking your time reevaluating stuff that you're learning about those difficult truths that I'm being told have been kicked up recently, and that this month, you know, maybe you're not feeling necessarily like a victim, and I'm not going to try to like prime it that way for you at all, but more that you're realizing and recognizing the truth of what it was that had you in that state before. Because I'm seeing this person getting up. I'm going to say she, but he, they, other. You know, that person right there, they look like they're a little afraid, you know? But see, they feel like something warm all around them. It's like radiating around them. And it's bringing like healing to them. And somehow they've gotten really clean. You know, it's like everything's white. It's like it's purified. You know, whatever the situation was, it's like purified some things. In the sense that it's kind of cleared up the air, you know? And that's your truth there. And so I think it's just really, you know, make sure that you're being a friend to yourself right now, and you're really taking time to do what you need to do to feel good and balanced before you take that big step. Especially if you feel like you might have made like decisions in haste over the past couple weeks. You know, some of y'all actually might be able to go back and revise some of that stuff, but you need to make sure that you're really clear on what you want. And they're saying, check in with your heart before you do that, because it's going to help you know that, it's the right decision for you, and that it's not something that's going to put you in some bullshit like this. Alright, Scorpio, love yourself first. Here's what the book says, okay? Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. If you desire more romance, first look at yourself in a caring, non-critical way, of course. The more you love who you are, the greater your capacity to feel loved by others. This means trusting yourself to take good care of you, and it may entail becoming more assertive. Don't worry, you can still be very lovable while affirming your boundaries. Perhaps this means spending time alone instead of in a relationship. During this period, you can delve into introspection to understand the patterns of your love life. Ultimately, you can take responsibility for attracting and agreeing to every relationship you've had. To heal your heart, find the blessing and lessons you've gained from each one. For instance, if you've become stronger, more independent, or more patient as a result of your prior partnerships, it might have come because of that. So, let everything else from your past go, except for the lessons and the love. This card emphasizes the importance of living yourself first, especially as you prepare for the next relationship or heal the one that you're currently in. As you gain self-respect, you begin attracting more loving people into your life. This will lead to healthy friendships and romances based on mutual respect. And that's exactly what you're coming into alignment with, is your truth. So, weigh the decisions carefully. Because I'm here for a lot of you, this is going to have an implication on your money. And I'm being told for some of you, the past 2 years, you have really learned what it's like to be tethered to that person. And I'm hearing tethered. And that it's like, it wasn't the best way. And that it's like right now, you're kind of like, I want to get off of this thing. And you're like trying to decide whether or not you have what you need to take that jump. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's a divided feeling because you feel like you're tied up in something, like you made a plan. And now it's like, see, those two things aren't being held together. There's something on top, but it's like they're apart. And I'm seeing this person being like, no, I think I want to stay over here. And other people are like, get me off of this fucking thing. I'm going to jump. And so whatever it is, look, take your time. Okay? Don't be artificially rushed into making a decision. And if you are dealing with a situation where you are really victimized, and if there's anything going on here that has to do with abuse, I have to say, and then this is like, you leaving a marriage or a situation where, you've had to be honest about being emotionally, physically, spiritually abused in some kind of way. That's what you're being advised to do. And if you are in danger, of course, be safe. Use your discretion. But I'm being told there's somebody that's there, that listens, that can help you. And he's not judging you, or she, this can be anybody. But that you might have somebody that can help you and make sure that it's safe. But definitely be thinking, for yourself, interests in that way too, okay? So if you needed confirmation on that, being in alignment with your truth, always important, and your safety comes first. So please get your help. Please get your help. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to seal it up here on the advice from Archangel Michael, because I'm hearing that a lot of y'all, this is really just about the new direction that's really going to feel like You just got up from here where shit was upside down, and it's like it gave you wings to go on to the next thing, and that the money came too, because there's money attached to this. So, take your time, make that decision, make sure that it feels good in your heart too, because sometimes the one that pays a little bit more isn't always the one that feels right. And so, you don't want to feel like you've enslaved yourself for nickels and dimes, to do something that just doesn't feel like, you can whistle while you work. And sometimes that's what I call this, like a lot of times people will call this, it's like, like a seasick feeling. This person's like having a hard time juggling, but they're keeping it together. I kind of almost see it like whistle while you work. It's like this person to me, he almost looks a little happy, and I can see him whistle while you work, do 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 do, and he's happy. And it's not a happy feeling if you're juggling and you feel like that at work, right? So if it's about a career decision, just make sure that you're placing an emphasis on the value of your happiness in this too, because that should be a part of your quotient. All right? Take your time making this decision, Cancerians. Seal it up on your prayer. Dear Archangel Michael, please help me stay strong and relax as I approach this situation. Remind me to detach and take a step back, allowing the situation to naturally unfold. Thank you for protecting me. Amen. Alright, Cancer, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, share, subscribe, share it with a friend if you think it might help them. And I'm available for personals and also prayers at artoflove.me. If I don't hear from you, enjoy the first part of your October, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks when I'm back for your mid-monthly readings. I'm going to clear it up here a little bit, a little something. We're going to seal it all up on Pisces. What's going on, Pisces? How you doing? Happy October to you. Let's flip your cards. Wow. I think a lot of people have just been coming into focus. Pisces, they're saying that y'all got your hands on some truth, and it was tough to get your hands on, but you did it, or you're about to. Just gotta warn, might not come easy. They're saying it's freaking karmic, and you know what, it happened for a reason, so you're going to know if that's for you. Let's go ahead and just start with that archetype card here, Pisces. Overall archetypal energy for the month. Actually, first couple of weeks of October primarily. Spirit's given us the warrior card for you. Light attribute state. Strength. Strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. Shadow attribute state, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted onto others. Whoa. I'm hearing somebody's really pissed because that shadow thing happened to them, and like they've got like this person that's just been nothing but a freaking tower in their life, is what I'm hearing. I heard Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. I don't know, maybe you got somebody that's got some Scorpio in their chart. Actually, they said Scorpio rising. Scorpio rising? I don't know. Past life relationship, you've known each other before. You might know if that's for you, but they're saying that it was like, it's really just like brought out the fangs, and it was just karmic as a mofo. That's not everybody though, because I'm actually seeing that some of y'all, this was like they're saying a fishing expedition, that you were like trying to catch the big fish, and that this is you like harpooning your whale. I'm being told it was like kind of a ploy, but that you got him back, or you got her back. Huh, interesting. Alright, warrior. Let's see what the book says on this here, Pisces. Really cool card. Alright, so they've given us a few different keywords to keep in mind, and then we've got 4, 5, actually a lot more than that. We got like 8 bullet points and a tip or something. Let's see here. Warrior, soldier, crime fighter, Amazon, mercenary, gunslinger, samurai. First bullet point. Represents physical strength and the ability to protect and fight for your rights. Linked to invincibility, loyalty, and the passage from boyhood to manhood. Can also be female. Is in the legendary Amazon tribe of warrior women, and has emerged once again through women who liberate and protect others who need representation. Mercenary and soldier of fortune are variations on the hired killer who sells his power with complete disregard for the cause. Gunslinger and samurai appeal to your fantasies of independence and self-defense, yet they also carry the historic weight of predatory evil. In their favorable aspect, they all warn you that when you're in danger of aligning your might with an unjust or purely self-interested cause. The spiritual warrior, pioneered by Dan Millman, Chogyam Trungpa, and others, directs you to use the classic warrior virtues of heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice for conquering the ego and gaining control of the inner realm. And the shadow warrior distorts or abandons ethical principles in the name of victory at any cost. And then the tip that they want you to keep in mind here, Pisces, is to look for a lifetime of commitment to courageous battle whenever and wherever necessary. And I'm hearing that's what you did. Or are going to do. Sometimes when these towers show up, I mean, it's like just boom, unexpected. And I mean, take it as a warning. It could be. Something physical or something that affects people in your world could happen, you know. And I'm hearing for some people, though, it's not about something sudden and unexpected. This is actually that spear that the warrior has in their hand here. And this is the person, like, saying, I'm in touch with what I need to do, and just, like, grabbing a hold of it and being like, here I freaking go. Because Archangel Michael's saying that a lot of y'all have like gotten really in touch with your life purpose here, and I think it wasn't like easy to do. Emotional withdrawal. This is your 8 of Cups card in more standard decks like the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. Here, it's just 8 emotional withdrawal. They're saying to me right now, because this is your mental sector card, that Pisces next couple weeks, you know, really keep in mind what it is that's made you feel like that before. You know, where, you know, the way I interpret this person here, I mean, she, he, they, this can be anybody. I'm hearing a lot of cases this is you, whatever gender you identify as. And it's like, you know, once you've been through some bullshit, like whatever it is that blew your world up sometimes, where it's like you're just finally like healing and you're just like sitting there taking an assessment of it. They're saying that that meditative state, that meditative mind where you're in your like heart-centered space, is really where you need to be right now, because this warrior is cloaked in that same green. You see that? She, he, they. And they're saying that is your key for the next couple of weeks. Cloak yourself in that heart-centered space as you're grabbing whatever that freaking fiery dart is, especially if you're getting ready to exact yourself. Because I'm being told for some of y'all, you know, you're picking between destinies because karma's taught you some freaking lessons. And for others, it's really just about that new direction that now you're like ready to launch off. And that you figured some stuff out. I'm also hearing for some people too, though, that, you know, this has to do with a loved one that's like, I'm hearing senility, that it's like, you know, there's just some withdrawal here because this person has kind of like lost their mind, their faculties in some regard. And so, you know, it's really possible that this month right now, you might be making some decisions about how to fight for this person is what I'm hearing, and help them, you know, fight for themselves, because it's like, you know, something happened health-wise maybe recently. I don't feel like I'm predicting this. I feel like this is something that's already happened, but that it's left a shake-up like this, and that really this is like what the month is about, or the first couple weeks. It's like, you know, really just taking that meditative state and deciding, you know, how do we help this person? Like, you know, how do we fight for this person? Is what I'm hearing. And part of it's just because that person, I'm hearing in some cases, is completely incapacitated. Wow. Actually, I was just seeing a message here about somebody being called to help a cutter in their life that might be really on the edge, kind of emotionally withdrawn individual. And I'm just really being told that, you know, you've been doing this a lot. It's like an underdog sort of thing, and maybe finding yourself with these kinds of partners a lot. And this month is you like coming to some truths about what you've been calling into your life over and over and over again. And that it's karmic, darling. They're saying that there's something that you need to heal here for you. And that you're like being amazing, being this warrior, helping these people. And that it doesn't always have to be this way, though. That this might be like the last time that you've done this, and that this might not be the partner you want. I'm sorry if you don't want to hear this. You're going to know if this is for you. This is not all Pisces. But if it was something like this, and I'm hearing something about the cutter that's on the edge, and you keep getting those phone calls, it's karma. And they're saying that your life purpose here is to know this and to heal from this. Heal yourself there, because it's actually going to be the key to you like reclaiming your world here. And that, you know, I'm just being told bless you for doing it, because I think this person has not been very good to you, sweetheart. And I'm hearing that that might be like part of why you're pissed off, that you found out some bullshit, and that you were being harpooned, and that you were the one that was being dragged into something. Wow. I'm so sorry. They're saying you've known each other before. If that's the case, though, it's karmic. And I can't dumb it down for you. Look, you know, some of y'all are going to just need to, like, you know, just really apply this if it makes sense to you. And if not, it doesn't. And that's okay. That's why I'm reading all the cards here. But, you know, this could be a lot of things. Physical, material realm. I mean, this card also showed up. Let's see here. Who else got this? Aquarius. Maybe you're dealing with an Aquarius person here, Pisces. You know? Aquarius and Pisces are side by side too. So you could be dealing with each other, or maybe you have this person in common, you know? Somebody could show up like a tower in your shared world, and I'm being told if that's the case, you might actually want to reach out to that person, because they're saying something about preemptive, whatever preemptive something, that you can be preemptive in a situation. And I'm hearing that that's what this is. It's taking an offensive. Ah, that's it. Taking an offensive. They just said it's something about an intervention. Because somebody's been like withdrawn in like a negative way, and that they actually need some assistance, and that this is about trying to figure out how to make a big impact, like what this is, huge impact, but without all the collateral damage, right? And so they're saying, you know, I was getting you might just want to watch the beginning if you didn't catch it. There were messages that were coming up for some of y'all. And I can't always remember it until I have to go back and watch them, because when I channel, it's just the messages just come fast. But they said straddling tricky shit about a Scorpio, and I'm hearing that again. So maybe you have Scorpio, you're dealing with a Scorpio person. Maybe that's what this is. But I heard that they're like in a real time right now. They're saying something about August too. And so, I don't know, you're going to know if that's for you or not. But, look, people don't always like it when they see this card. I got to say, sometimes I freaking love this card. This card has shown up for me when I've seen people falling in love. And so sometimes it's an amazing thing to see a card like that show up with a warrior. It's like finding something to fight for, and something that, you know, maybe it's that long lost love that you've called back into your life. And I think for some of y'all, the chance here is to reconnect with that person. And some of y'all might have actually come into this world asking for only that, and only wanting that, and just like wanting to be with that person, you know, and to have that, you know, that lover that you remember, or the one that you dream of, you know. And, you know, it doesn't have to be past life karmic. It can be like just that person that you imagine in your dreams that maybe you were anticipating. And sometimes it doesn't have to be the one from the past, you know. So it can be different for a lot of people. And I'm hearing that some of y'all right now just want to take advantage of a meditative space. I know this is emotional withdrawal. I try to read these for everybody, and it's so easy to try to just like pigeonhole them into like buckets, and it's going to play out different for all of you because all of your lives are different. But I'm going to ignore what it says here about withdrawal and like a negative connotation. This can simply mean sometimes just taking a focus from one thing and putting it somewhere else, right? Withdraw. It doesn't have to mean that you're like just withdrawn from like society and like being like reclusive and like hurt and everything. It can literally just mean that you're withdrawing to your emotions. And I'm taking it that way for some of y'all, and I'm hearing that for some of you, this is really about calling in a very specific kind of partner that you have basically cultivated this relationship on the etheric plane, and you're going to know if that's for you or not. And I think that that's why all this light is coming into this person's heart. It's like the world has come to them from the heavens. And I know it says past life relationship here, but it doesn't have to be past life karma. This could just be, you know, see what that feels like? You know, maybe that feels really good to you. And maybe this is realizing that when you are in your namaste space, working on your truths and your own self, that some kind of freaking rocket from heaven sent you a lightning bolt because your aim was really good, and all that purple stuff was like sending you something that was going to feel like, you know, what you've called back home. And so I'm being told for some of y'all, this is just you being freaking in love and it blowing your mind. And so if that's going to give you a fighting spirit for life and for the things that you're doing, knowing that you're on the right track, Pisces, take that and run with it, baby, because you got some good energy here for that. Let's see what the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book says about this, because like I said, this energy can also play out in a more mopey, depressed way, and I'm anticipating the card's going to tell us something about that in the book, but it's not limited to one expression. especially in this deck, because this deck doesn't necessarily read reversals either. You know, there's no reversal messages, so I just want to make sure we're talking to the complete, you know, spectrum of how it can paint itself. Alright, emotional withdrawal, Pisces, aka Eight of Cups. This card represents moving away or withdrawing from a current situation in your life, whether it's an old love or relationship, or leaving behind what was once familiar in search of new horizons or beginnings. On a physical level, it's easy to get caught up in the materialistic world, but it's just as important to retreat from the outside world to enable you to pause, reflect, and heal. Schedule some alone time so you can commune with your soul and give the power of your spirit the opportunity to restore your energy level, giving you the vitality to move forward in a positive direction. The number 8 represents infinity, passion, control, and power. This is your time. Use this opportunity to tap into your heart and soul in order to find the courage and strength to continue your journey into that wonderful undiscovered territory. They just showed me Leo too, so I don't know if that holds any special importance to you all, but well, I guess that kind of makes sense though, because 8 is also the strength card if you go up to the higher octaves of it and the majors with that deck. And a lot of times that's like a Leo. And so I'm being told too that a lot of this is just something about a person that might have a lot of Leo. And that I'm hearing soulmate. You're going to know if this one's for you or not. That you found somebody that's like really awesome for you. And they have a lot of Leo in them somewhere. I heard they have really good hair. I guess that makes sense. I have a moon in Leo. I think my hair is great, and you know, I hear a lot of times people with Leo have really good hair. But anyway, yeah, they said something about Leo. So you know, I'm hearing that for some of you, it's like you actually called somebody in that's really special, and it's just like kind of like blowing your mind. And they're just saying, you know, make sure you give yourself a little time to like enjoy it too, because I'm just seeing somebody in like really major fighting spirit, and they're saying you're moving really, really fast, and it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great. And that's like why you're like trying to chill in your mind, because it's just like got all your cylinders like fired. And so go you, if that's you. Did I read Past Life Relationship yet? I don't think I read this book yet. Let's see what this one says on your past life relationship here, Pisces. And then we're going to seal it up on your prayer. Alright, here we go, Pisces. Past life relationship. You have known each other before. The romance angel sent you this card to explain the relationship you've inquired about. You have some unfinished business in conjunction with a soulmate from a past lifetime. This may involve forgiving someone, a joint project, or learning personal lessons such as patience. Soulmates recognize each other instantly, and this feeling is often registered as a sense of romantic or sexual chemistry. The magnetism that draws two people together can surpass logic, because the purpose of this relationship is healing and learning. Whether or not your soulmate becomes your life partner, you'll experience personal spiritual lessons and growth as a result. Past life regressions can also help you uncover the answers you seek. Yeah, I'm like getting a good hit on like shamanic journey work too. Like if you know somebody that does that, or if you come out to the Denver metro area, I would love to do one for you, because I do that too, but I'll only do those in person. So but yeah, I don't know. I hear that it's going to be an interesting month for a lot of y'all, and that your fighting spirit is going to be heavily engaged, a lot of you, and that, you know, just remember what you've learned. And they're saying right now, like, it would just be a really good thing to do stuff to ground yourself, because some of you are just working with a lot of upper register, upper frequency energies, and I think that's why they're showing this person sitting literally with their butt in the dirt, like by the water, bare feet in the sand and stuff. It's like they're really saying, like, do what you can to, like, ground yourself and everything too, because you might be going through some major stuff and feeling a lot of things. And I think it's going to be great for you, Pisces, because they're saying it's your life's purpose. So buckle it up, baby, and, you know, get ready for a good time and do what you need to support yourself. And we're going to seal this up on your prayer, because this is your life's purpose. Dear Archangel Michael, you know the details of my divine life purpose, and I ask you to help me be aligned with my goals. Please clearly guide my actions so that I'm taking the best steps to fully manifest my wonderful, meaningful career. Amen. Alright, Pisces, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense. If it did, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Pass it along to a friend who it might be helpful for. If I can do a prayer for you, feel free to hit me up at artoflove.me. Drop it on the welcome mat. I'm also doing personal and private readings, which you can book there on my website. If I don't hear from you, take care, God bless. I'll see you in a couple of weeks when I'm back for your mid-monthly readings. Bye for now.